What's up everyone, it's Charles here with RocketPunchArmy to do a review of the MP-22 Cybertron City Commander Ultra Magnus from the Takara Tomy line of Transformers Masterpiece figures. As I scroll up, we can check out the front of the box here, which shows him beautifully here in robot mode. And as we scan down once more, we can see him in vehicle mode. If we take a look at the back of the box, we'll see some product shots here. And you'll also notice these two little guys here does have a Spike and Daniel figure with more pictures of it in vehicle mode and the ability to carry some of the Autobot cars back here and a comparison with the MP-10. And as we scroll up, you'll see it can also hold the Matrix here, but there's a special way of him being able to hold that, and I will show you that later on in the video. Here he is next to MP-10 in robot mode, here with his weapon. And as we move up, it's just a standard picture of him here in robot mode. And if we look on the left here, you will see there is a big picture of Ultra Magnus, which is what the Masterpiece line has been doing to show the actual size of the figure. And what I'll do here is right off the bat start showing you the figure so you can see how it scales up to the box. So we'll scan right up so you can see that it's very accurate to what it shows on the box. And here he is, everybody, right out of the box. First thing that grabs my attention is the weight of this thing, as there is finally die-cast back into the Masterpiece line, which was sorely missed in a lot of the releases. But it really does work with this figure. It's nice and hefty. The die-cast is in the right places. Now as we scan down, you will see it's a beautifully represented Ultra Magnus here. Very bulky, especially for those who have been used to looking at the KFC Citizen Stack. They will consider this a little bit bulky, but I think it's actually pretty accurate. Now this review can easily turn into an hour review, but we're going to just cover the basics here, guys. We're going to start off right away with articulation. You got the head here, back and forth this way, also turns this way. It's not a ball joint, it's actually swivel joints for the neck. Then you have the arms here, which swivel around and all the way around if you really wanted them to. You have the bicep swivel. You also have beautiful sounding ratchets here for the elbow. The hands here are on a ball joint, but they only just swivel around this way. Unfortunately, even for his size, he does have the regular articulation of the hands, except the big difference really is the index finger here, which is the only one separate out of these four fingers, doesn't have a what do you call it, a little joint here for the tip of the finger, like, you know, Soundwave does in MP-10. And I'm assuming they do that just so you don't lose the finger, but it would have been nice to see better articulated hands. Now, because these hands do snap off, I do see a third party coming up with you know, a fix for that. Now, getting back to the shoulders here, I didn't show you this kind of movement here because it actually doesn't go out unless you move this part out here, and then there's actually a ratchet right there which allows you to bring the arms out. And if we move down to the waist, due to the design, there is no waist articulation, which is surprising. You do have these skirts here, which move out of the way for the legs here, which can extend out this way. All right, there's no ratcheting, that's just the squeaking of the friction there that you're hearing. Now, even though there is a seam here, there is no thigh swivel in this spot, but you can get this movement here, which is more than adequate for this figure. And the legs do go forward on a nice little ratchet, and as you can hear, the knees are also very strongly ratcheted, which is very necessary for the amount of weight that this guy's carrying in his legs. And the feet here actually have this pivot point right here, like so. I just wanted to give you guys a close-up shot of the face sculpt, which I find to be rather nice. And it does have an alternate face, which we'll check out later on in the video. So pretty much everything is very nicely done on the figure. I don't see any errors in the paint apps, but the only thing that kind of bothered me on mine is the way they cut these little plastic pieces off here, and it kind of grinded into the color there, which is again not a big deal, but it would have been nice to see these things maybe on the back, not in the front of the figure. Now, as far as metal content is concerned, it's really the front of the foot here, this entire section right here, and it also runs off to the side right here. While it doesn't seem like a lot, these are pretty big feet, and I think they serve the purpose of just making them more balanced. Next thing we're going to take a look at is these guys here. We have Spike here, and we also have Daniel. And again, Takara has gone ahead and only included face sculpts, but no tampo printing for eyes and mouths or anything like that. And just to give you a little size comparison, here's the MP-10 figure right here. Let's see if I can get him to stand. Perfect. And just as horribly detailed as the rest of the figures here, but at least they've been able to detail the bodies a little bit more. And a lot of you have probably noticed that Daniel here looks like he can give birth to babies. And I think the reasoning behind that's not so much like error in sculpting, it's just really the fact that they have to put little tiny plastic rivets in the joint areas here. If we move his arm out of the way, you'll see right there those rivets, they need to be a certain size so they can hold the figure together. We're going to go ahead and check out the articulation. Get this guy to lie down because I will knock him over. We got the arms here. All right, the head doesn't move, by the way. We got the hips and we have the knees. So you can actually get in a little seated position. Same thing with Spike here, same kind of articulation. And then we'll have him here next to the Exo-suit, which is, I thought was Spike. A lot of people are saying Daniel. I'm not even going to get into that subject, but it's the Exo-suit. So you can see how it compares to the rest of them. You'll notice the head is completely huge compared to everybody else. What would have been great is if Takara Tomy had thought ahead to make these little figures be able to fit inside the Exo-suit, because it looks like there may be space in there. So it would have been cool to have these fold up and you know, have this split open and just stick the figure in there somehow. I'm sure they could have really, you know, used their engineering skills to figure that out. Now there are a couple of other things that come with the set here. You see the little hands here with the knuckles cut out, which I will show you in just a moment how that works. You also get the alternate face, which I will also show you how that works, and it's kind of freaky looking. It's like, oh! And then we also have the gun here, the weapon. All right, it's done in a purplish metallic. It's kind of like a in between blue and purple, and it does have this fold away piece here, and I will also show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you how to use these alternate hands here. All you do is pop off the originals. There's a ball joint there, so they pop off rather easily, and push these in. And these are actually kind of soft, which is good, so you can go ahead and squeeze the matrix in there in just a moment. They should pop on rather easily, and they do. And we'll go ahead and pop it in on this side. Next we want to get his arms up in this position here where he's going to hold the matrix. But the next thing we want to do is change the face. And you may just want to change the face before you even put the arms up, but because I have to make my video difficult. Alright, so take the face plate off and you'll see they do a nice homage of Ultra Magnus there with the white interior face. Alright, with the little mouth cover there. It's not a full face, but it's kind of cool that they did include that way. And then the face here, you can pop off this little post that's on the inside. So take off the regular face, then grab the screaming face and pop it right in, just like so, and then just pop that back in. So he's like, ah! Then pop the matrix into his hand there, and then pop it into the other side, just like that. And in case you don't want to lose the face while you have the other one on, you can always just lower this and just pop it into these little posts that are right there. And you notice there's two posts, so I guess you can put both while you have the regular white head on there. I don't know, but there's room for two. And you also have the option of hiding the matrix in here. You can open this up and then open these little doors here, and you'll see it's got a little space to put the what's it called? The matrix in there. So you can just go ahead, pop it right in. So also got his very popular shoulder weapons here, and it looks like this would be pushed down for it to shoot, but it doesn't. This doesn't actually shoot, but you can pull them out. And it actually looks like these would belong to a spring-loaded weapon. I don't know if that was the original design, or if they have something coming up, or if a third party is going to design something that will work with these missiles. I don't know. But here it is, and you can actually hinge it around, which is pretty cool, and turn it.
I am Optimus Magnus.
That's right, guys. You can put Optimus Prime's head on there and it fits perfectly. Which means you can also use Dakatoi's head if you have one of those laying around. You might want to paint it white and have it be like his head without the faceplate on, which is actually really cool. It's the same kind of post, so you can go ahead and do that. It opens this up to customizing. And actually, while I was messing around with this, I just realized that the head and the antennas here are actually made out of metal, which is awesome. He's a true metal head. To attach the gun, you open the hands here. You'll see there's a little slot there for this peg on the gun handle. So you can go ahead and pop that in. We'll see if it actually stays without his fingers being curled around, and it does. But you can go ahead and curl it around for maximum realism. And I really think this gun works. It's a little bit better than I imagined it would be once I had it on him, and there you go. Alright, the most obvious thing to do next is to get into transformation, which is why I pulled out this nice little instruction booklet, which has some great artwork on the front here. And if we open it up, it's got some black and white illustrations on how to do the whole transformation. And it also comes with this. It comes with the little spec card, if I hold it the right way. MP-22 Ultra Magnus. Same kind of artwork as the front of the instructions here. And on the back, it's got all his numbers here, 9968, 8968. And I couldn't tell you what each of these means because I can't read all this Spanish back here. So I'm going to take a moment and look at this, and ooh, look at this nice little Ultra Magnus figures on the back, just in case you're interested, and some Masterpiece figures here, which you probably already have. So again, yeah, let me take a moment and we'll get into transformation. Alright, so here he is in alternate mode. As you can see, it's rather big. This is my hand. It's really big on this display area here, pretty much filling all my space up. And I gotta say, it is pretty solid overall. I had a couple of issues just keeping things tapped, but I think it was just a matter of just aligning things correctly. But you'll see I can actually hold it from here, and the cab is you know, nice and secure there. Speaking of the cab, I believe you can take it off by pushing this button here, and it allows you to take it off. So you can put the trailer there on the side and have your own little cab without trailer. Now, I didn't forget about these little guys here. You can actually put them in the cab here, alright? So what you're going to do is just open this up like that, and you'll see there's little seats in there. So you grab them in the seated position and just place them right inside. If we take a look at the front of the cab here, you can see them seated there securely, and that's via pegs that are stuck in between their legs with friction that holds them together. If we look at the top here, we also see that there's a spot to put the weapon. Alright, so you'll see there's a little circle with a little dash looking hole. It's for this piece right here. All you do is just wedge it in there and just peg it in. What I'm going to do next is pretty much a given, since a lot of you are probably wondering this, but here is the KFC Stack right next to him, and they're almost the same length. And here we get a closer glimpse of the difference. And we'll also see that MP-22 back here is a little bit taller. And we'll take a look at the front here. We got MP-22 on the left, and we got the KFC Stack on the right. Immediately obvious is the red bumper here on MP-22 and the chrome bumper on the KFC Stack, which also has this little bar thing here, which can also be removed. One thing I want you to make a note of is that there are little details on my KFC Stack, like stickers and everything, because this does have repro labels, and it's going to be a little more obvious when I do a comparison between these two later on in the video in robot mode. Now, if we take a look at back here, you'll see these little ramps come down. If you wanted to load up some Autobot vehicles, you can. And you'll see here that MP-22 does hold 4 Autobots very nicely, which actually is not something that can be said for KFC Stack. And you'll be happy to know that they've also included rubber tires, which should be expected for a masterpiece of this size. The only kind of issue I've been having is really turning the cab here. It kind of bangs into this piece right here when you go to turn it. It kind of snags, but you can help it along. Just hold the tire there, so it allows you to spin it around. Alright, so now getting them back into robot mode, I'm going to do some scale comparisons in robot mode. I want to start off with this guy, since again a lot of you are wondering, because you may not have either one and you're trying to decide which one you want to buy. And again, I must make note that this is full of repro labels. Alright, there are a lot of details on the KFC one, like the little red up here, the little whites here, the white here, and there's also red here on the shins, but there are a lot of repro labels. So let me just move down so you can see the rest of the figure. You'll notice the KFC is a lot more detailed. So if you're into the whole lot of detail kind of thing and the extra sculpting, you might like the way this looks, or if you're looking for a bigger Ultra Magnus. Another thing I want to point out is that this has the SXS head. So this is not the head it normally comes with. It's a little wider from the front to the back here. One of the things that the KFC does excel in is the posability of the arms here. So you'll see they extend quite a bit. KFC also has waist articulation. Even though the MP-22 has adequate articulation, the KFC also has these little two pieces here that form the foot, so the heel and the toes. And while the MP-22 has a standard posable hands, the KFC does have individual fingers, minus the thumb here, but the other four fingers do articulate. Also, the MP-22 does lock in fairly securely here, these flaps that come around, just like the KFC. They're pretty similar in the transformation. These lock in a lot more secure than the KFC. I've noticed this is the second time I've transformed them really, and these tabs are no longer really holding his arm. So if we pop it in there, it just pops right out. So that's one thing to consider also. So now that we have his main competitor out of the way, we can go ahead and do some scaling with MP-10 here. Then we'll just add my favorite Decepticon here in the mix. Then a few more Autobot cars. And that's just about going to bring us to the end of the review, guys. I hope it was informative. So if you enjoyed the MP-22 Ultra Magnus, you can go ahead and click the link below to get this guy and all the other figures shown in this video. If you're liking the videos, please subscribe and like. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Until next time, goodbye.